Welcome to Mountain by Mountain. We have another nice sit down interview for Mountain by Mountain. I was fortunate to sit down with former Marine, 23 years in the Marine, and current Fire Chief, St. Paul, Minnesota, Chief Roy Mokosso. We had a wide variety of topics, spoke about military service, leadership styles, mental awareness is something that is very important, especially when it comes to like people in the service. Issue of suicide, physical fitness, what he eats, how he trains. I highly recommend this for like young men who are trying to figure out what to do with their life. This is highly recommended. I hope you enjoy this. Please like, share, and subscribe. Mountain by Mountain. Enjoy this. Welcome to another session of Mountain by Mountain podcast. I'm proud to have on this edition my brother Roy, Chief Roy Mokosso. Welcome to Mountain by Mountain.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you on
Yes.
Mountain by Mountain.
Thank you.
So get started. I'm going to let you introduce yourself to
Sure.
the audience so they know who you are.
Okay. Well, my name is Roy Mokosso. I serve as a district chief on the St. Paul Fire Department. I've been on the fire department now for 18 years in a senior leadership position for the last 6 or 7 years. Prior to that, I was a Marine. I was enlisted to start, and then I ended up being an officer after about 12 years. Did multiple deployments to Iraq. So 23 years total service in the Marines. Before that, my life journey started in Cameroon.
Right.
My dad was originally from Cameroon. My mom was in the Peace Corps. So we lived there pretty much, really moving to the United States finally at the age of 12.
Right. Good. Thanks for that introduction. So starting with your military service, first of all, I want to thank you for your service.
Enjoyed it.
Great stuff. So I like to. I know you were in the Marines. Obviously, you're a Marine guy through and through. I mean, it's like in every daily facet of your life. Even I know you retire now, but I mean
Sure.
that is still drilling you, like how you go about your business. So, talking a little bit about your military life. So, 23 years, man. That's with all the tours and everything. So, like, what prompted you like get into the service?
I just remember telling my mother that I absolutely did not want to go to college. So I said, no way did I want to go to college.
Right.
So I joined the Marines right out of high school.
Right.
And then I distinctly remember when I was in the Marines, we were digging fighting holes and doing all this stuff. And it was just I looked over and I was like, who are those guys over there sitting down drinking coffee?
Right.
And they're like, those are officers. You got to go to college to become an officer. I was like, I'm going to college.
Right.
So.
All right. Nice. So anyway, on Mountain by Mountain, we kind of like try to focus on people who kind of like maintain this active lifestyle, like community involved and stuff. So, I mean, not nepotism going around here, but you kind of like embody, your service, both on the military side and the fire side, and they obviously live a very active lifestyle. So, you've been active prior to joining the Marines. I mean, I know you play sports, so can you talk a little bit about? Because I'm trying to figure out, people like who try to want to be active. They say sometimes I don't have maybe I don't have the gene in me, or maybe I just don't have the zeal. So I'm trying to figure out, did the Marines enhance your athletic abilities, or were you already that athletic before you got into the Marines?
No, I mean, I would say that I was athletic and I was competitive, but after joining the Marines, they make you a little tougher. Your mindset changes a little bit when you go from, just doing what everybody else does to like doing things that very few people get an opportunity to do. And then all of a sudden you start like seeing that, like, hey, there's something special about me.
Yeah. I mean, like, about that, like, we're going to talk about the marathon. I remember one thing I saw with the marathon, I wish this book was written by one of your Marine guys. Pain is weakness, living the body, right?
Sure.
It seems to be like, I mean, you've even told me that, like, I remember we did like a practice on you, like, Tony, come on, man, that is just pain living. Yeah. But that is something you guys really embody, like, it's like you guys like the painful, like really painful stuff. That is that you guys take some kind of pride in, you know.
I mean, everybody's different. Everybody's different. Some people, like I told you at the race time, right? You know, like why would you want to struggle through it in 6 hours? Let's get it done as fast as possible. Like, you know, so, you know, there's a different kind of pain that you feel by finishing a marathon in 6 hours versus 4 hours. As far as I'm concerned, you know, a person that finishes in 4 has 2 hours less pain than a person who finishes it in 6 when you think about it that way. So why not get it done as quickly as possible?
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting mindset. But the truth is, like, one of my buddy who did it in 3:45, he improved his time by 10 minutes. But we did the Zurich Marathon together, but he was in so much pain this time because he did that improved time. But like you said, it's a mind frame how you frame things, right? But so your military service comes in. But I know from you being in the military and then you started running marathons. So we just came off our marathon last week, Sunday. It's about a week now. We just celebrated your 50th birthday. So this like was a special one for you.
Yeah.
The Marine Marathon 50th anniversary, you turned 50 and you hit me up. So let's do this together. So, but prior to that, you ran marathons before. I think you probably have like nine marathons under your belt.
I think this is either I'd have to count, but this was either my 9th or it was my 10th. But I haven't run one in almost 9 years.
But the funny enough, for a Marine guy, you've ran all over the place, but you didn't run your own marathon.
Yeah. I think I tried to get into it a couple different times, and it was, you know, it's hard to get into. And so what we had to do is we had to go run the 1775.
The pre-qualifier, yes.
Yep. And then once you did that, you got an automatic entry. And so that's what we had to do. And for us to run it next year, we have to sign up by November 6th. So I'll be signing up here shortly.
Yeah, true. Talking about a marathon. So, I mean, I saw some of your training videos. How overall, given like you've had this long break between you ran a lot in your 30s and then you took like almost like a decade off to pick it back up, turning 50. How did you find the training?
You know, it was a little bit different. And I could probably tell a longer story. I'll tell a long story, right? So it was different in that, you know, I'm 10 years older. I'm probably 20 pounds heavier. And so those things are a little bit, you know, make things a little bit harder. But I'm also, I just kind of took a different approach. I think in my 30s, you know, 10 years ago, if I was going to do this, I would follow a very regimented training plan. And I would tell myself like, hey, you know, if I missed a day, I would be really mad at myself. This time around, you know, I tried to follow a schedule, but a schedule doesn't need to be perfect, right? So if I wasn't able to run a particular day because, you know, I'm working and, you know, last night's shift was really rough and I'm exhausted, like, you know, why go run tired and slip and tweak something and hurt yourself? So I was okay with taking days off. And at the end of the day, you know, I was confident that I was going to be able to cross the finish line.
I mean, it all worked out, but the truth is, you've always been active. It's not even like, let people not get it wrong because you took 10 years off. Still in your daily routines, like, I mean, you do something physical, at least like to bind as a firewall, you like 3 days a week, you still, so, I mean, you had that going, but like that long distance run was not really your thing. You still, I mean, over the decades, we've gone on runs together, probably like 5, but you never did like the longer run. So, I mean, you're a Marine. This thing is like, it's like you're wired in with this stuff, man.
If like running doesn't seem like it's a hobby of somebody that's 240 pounds. So it's, you know, but, you know, you just, it's a little bit of a mindset thing. I don't really get runner's high. I get the feeling that like I'm someplace new with my body, you know, or like I've not experienced this before. Or, I mean, how many times have you run, you know, 20 miles, right? Like, you know, there's only so many times you've done that. So your body's felt that so many times in your life compared to how many times, you know,
5 miles,
5 miles or 3 miles or something routine. Like you bring yourself to a place that you know, don't get to very often. So,
so if you were to advise somebody who's watching you, you're 50 years old, because sometimes people are like, one of the things to like, I mean, I look up to you. I'm hitting 40. At least I know I still have 10. You're 50. Funny thing, people don't know you're 50, and we ran the marathon together, and you smoked me like. And I'm saying to myself, like, why would this guy let his little brother win or something? Like,
no,
50, I mean, so I want the people watching out there, like, to know. because sometimes people don't know like how I'm supposed to feel when I'm at a certain age,
Yep.
45, 50.
Yep.
But here you are at age 50. And I mean, you ran. And then the thing is, your time could have been better, but you were doing videos, you were taking pictures. I mean, you had fun doing the whole thing. So like people watching, like how would you advise them to get started and maybe at getting to the age where you are and still be very active and enjoying it?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I would just say, start pushing yourself, push yourself early. I mean, there's, I see this at the gym. I'll see people that kind of do the same thing, lift the same weight, and like over longer periods of time. And I'm just kind of like, all right, that's like maintenance, right? If you're a young person, and you're lifting or running, and you're running the same distance or lifting the same weight day in, day out, hey, that's maintenance. You have to push yourself, because you'll be surprised at what you can do. All of a sudden, you put more weight on, and all of a sudden you fail at it, and you're like, oh, but I want to get it, and then you get it, and then you're like, wow, I never would have thought I could get that. So
well, I mean, advantage you being is, again, looking at you when you're in your 20s, you probably had like, I don't know, maybe 0.0% fat. You were lean, like, you maintain that through your 30s. I mean, the last decade, fatherhood and everything, taking the kids to basketball games and all that stuff. But
other people become a priority.
Yeah, it became a priority, right? But so I mean, like, is it like a family gene thing, like with those running? Is it so? Like, I know, again, with the marine, I'm not in the service. I mean, I'm in the fire service, but not the military. But so sometimes I ask myself, is it like nature or nurture? Like, So, but then again, I was not in the service, but it's just like something innate that we both love running. Hiking, the outdoors. You are an avid outdoor guy. You're out on the boat, on the water. You're out on the golf course.
Embracing nature, being out and running.
So anyway, back to the marathon. So outside of like the running, outside running, in terms of like a core, what kind of core exercises do you do to like enhance like your run?
I mean, I was really focused on just not getting injured during the training process. So I did a lot of stretching.
Right.
We have saunas in the stations at work. So I sauna quite a bit, which is nice. It elevates your heart rate. It gets a little sweat on. But I mean, just the good things, like, when you're training for something, right? And hey, it's have a few beers tonight. Oh, I got to get up early tomorrow. And it's like, oh, okay. So all of a sudden your diet naturally gets better because you're looking for fuel, right? And then you're avoiding certain things that are either going to slow you down or whatever. So there's just a lot of little things that you do just to maintain, a higher level of performance.
Right.
So.
Well, talking about like, sometimes I tell like my clients that I coach, like, when you competing at something or you see yourself as a runner, right? Because obviously we started with the pre-qualification back in March.
Yeah,
that was in March, April, right? Knowing we're going to run in October. So obviously by default, I mean, we love food, but still we know we prepare. We have to eat the right food towards looking towards October. So by default, we try to like curtail. We can't just eat everything. Can't just drink. I mean, we drink too.
Yeah.
But we can't just drink like,
No.
You can. I mean, first of all, nobody can defeat alcohol.
No.
So sometimes people drink that, act like it's like the last beer that is gonna. So we cannot. But your eating, your food regimen was good. Like, your training was good. How did you overall find given you've now run the Marine Marathon? You're a former Marine. How, like, the whole circumstance around it, like, coming in, I picked you from the airport, picking up a beep. How did you find the whole thing and the overall experience?
I thought it was great. I'd never been in a race that big. I think it was the third or fourth largest race in the nation. So just being there with that many people, 40,000 people working towards the same goal, and is to finish the race, right? And so I thought that was absolutely awesome. I was impressed by a lot of different parts of the race. I think just passing people who had memorial shirts on, I thought were amazing. Just thinking that, like, the picture of that person on the back of their shirt was their, son, daughter, grandson, was their, brother in arms, was their, platoon mate, was their whatever they were to them, right? And then the silent mile, where you had all those sandwich boards with the photos of all the service members that have been lost. I think that choked me up quite a bit because, you got to that point, and I thought of two things. One, circumstances in combat zones that I thought there was a good high probability I was going to die.
Right.
So I thought, wow, like, you know, I'm incredibly grateful and fortunate and blessed to not be one of those, you know, faces
could, literally,
on the board.
like it could have been one of the names,
Yep.
faces on those placards. I saw them too. Like, I mean, I took a moment. I probably captured the whole video of that, like 1 mile with, you know,
Yep.
that was talking about that. I know one of your platoon guys ran along with you.
Yep.
I know we met him at the pre-qualifier.
Yep.
Question: did you have any guys in your St. Paul Fire Department who run marathons? I mean, if I know fire guys, a lot of them
we you know, probably 10, 15 years ago, we put together a marathon team. We had about, you know, 10 folks or so run the marathon together that year. In fact, the last marathon I did, again, you know, when you start doing things and you're up to challenges, like, hey, I'm going to challenge myself to run a 5K. I'm going to challenge myself to run a 10K. And you just start challenging yourself. And then once you've done something, like, you look for what's the next challenge.
Right.
So, you know, I'd run a bunch of marathons. And the last marathon I ran, one of my buddies who's, you know, very fit individual said, hey, we should run the Twin Cities Marathon. I'm like, well, it's coming up in 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah, let's do it. No training. There's still spots open.
Right.
And I was like, no training, just do it,
just go.
And then another guy goes, well, I'll do it if you do it. And then next, you know, the three of us signed up for it. And I think the Saturday before, I ran like 12 miles. I was like, well, if I can run 12 miles, I'm good. So then we ran that race, and I mean, it was great. We drank beer along the way. We high-fived people, you know.
Yeah.
It was
it
was great. It was great. And the other thing that was really nice about that is that, you know, at 25 or 30 miles a week in the training phase, that's hard. Shin splints, little nagging injuries, tightness, soreness in your back, all these things. With the Zero Train Marathon, 2 or 3 days to recover, and that was it. You know, there was none of the pain or fatigue.
Granted, you were younger too.
Yeah,
I won't recommend that for anybody.
I'm probably going to do it. I'm probably going to do it again, because honestly, running 20 miles by yourself sucks. You know, you got to hide water in bushes, and you got to do all these things.
Yeah,
you run the race, you're surrounded by people clapping, holding signs, handing you water, Gatorade, Jolly Ranchers. The race itself is not torture. It is fun.
No,
the training to me is very challenging.
Because, like,
by yourself, 5 o'clock in the morning, it's raining, it's cold, it's hot. You know, you need water. You need to go make a bathroom break. Just like the logistics to.
No, the training sucks. Because I remember, like, I did 18 mile was like my last long run, and by myself. It's a little getting colder, and I'm asking myself, like, what am I doing? You know, but then again, it's that discipline, knowing there's like the big medal. I mean, getting that medal at the end, it was a really rewarding feeling. But anyway, I saw when we did like the pre-qualifier, I saw like a platoon guy. I mean, the joy with which he greeted you, was happy seeing you. It kind of sprung something, because I remember when I came to your fire station too, like, you guys, man, they talk so highly of you. So I kind of like, what I want to talk is like your leadership style, right? Sure. So, I mean, technically in the service, officer, fire chief, you're a manager, you're managing people, right? So for people, typically people don't like their managers. Or they be like, you know, but I mean, your guys, they be in the fire service or in the military, they're happy to see you.
Sure.
So, what is it? Is it like your leadership style? You like the guy who you do by you lead by doing, so people see you do stuff, and how do you go about?
Yeah, it's a good question. You know, being a leader is challenging, and you know, there's just always situations where you I don't know how to say this, but you have to let people down.
Right.
You have to tell them that they need to do something that, you know, is dangerous. They need to do something that inherently might kill them. They need to do something that they really don't want to do. And you have to, you know, you need to get them to do it. And, you know, there's authoritarian leadership styles where people just yell, say, hey, this is what needs to happen. And, you know, no questions asked. There's, you know, other leadership styles were like laissez-faire, or you're just kind of like, oh, well, I guess we could do
handing
this.
down to your lieutenants to go back the orders. And
yeah, it's like, you're just kind of like, you're in charge, but you're not really in charge. You're letting other people lead. I think, my leadership style is kind of a balance. I, everyone knows that if I ask them to do something, it's something that I could do myself.
Right.
Like I would have, like I'm not going to ask you to do something that I personally could not do or wouldn't be capable of doing.
Right.
And so they always know that, like, hey,
Yeah, I mean that is for sure. I mean, we know that from the inside the house. We know that there's nothing. So I mean, okay, but yeah, I mean, I was just impressed by that. Like, I mean, even we just came from your birthday party. Like, I mean, you're the life of the party. I mean, for like this guy, you have like 10 different lives, like from the military to the fireside.
Yeah.
But talking about that, knowing all of that too, like you always jovial, but I know underneath that, I know especially in the fire service and more in the military, we have the issue with suicide.
Sure.
So I mean, you have guys who you didn't lose on the battlefield, but you've lost post. So but I mean, we're happy for you because I mean, like you are always busy with stuff, right?
Sure.
So I'm not. Can you speak to that? Like, how do you? Is it just like you being busy with like the different things you do? Either you're golfing, you're playing, taking the kids to a basketball game, or you're training. So like, can you speak a little bit to some of the service people who may be watching? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to service, everybody's service experience is different.
Right.
And so we had a situation where my cousin's son was thinking about joining the Marines. I was like, oh, okay. So we went out to dinner. And, I basically said, hey, these are all the things that really suck. And I don't know that, I never sell people on the Marines. I tell them all the things that suck. Right.
Right.
And if they join and they find out that all of those things suck, I was right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But if they join and they find all those things suck, but they love it, then they're like, this was for me.
Yeah.
And I don't want everyone to ever come back to me and say, hey, you told me this was going to be awesome and I hated it. And so I always like downplay the Marines. I'm like, no, it sucks. It's this, it's that. You're going to do this. You're going to have to do a lot of this stuff and this and that. Well, that's what I want to do. Okay. All right. You've been warned. Right. And then they come back. They're like, I love it. I go, I kind of thought you would. So going back to that, everybody's service experience is different. You and I can be in the same platoon. We can go on the same mission that results in loss of life. Right. And we can walk away from that same experience completely different.
Right.
One person change one way, one person possibly not affected, or maybe a delayed effect in regards to it. But in regards to like behavioral health and mental health, it's just something you need to constantly keep in check, and I keep it in check. I see a counselor at the VA, and I feel that just having conversations about it is very helpful. I reach out to others because when you see other people struggling, and you start to have conversations with people that are struggling, you start to say, "Wow, you know what? Those are some of the things that I experience, or those are some of the things that I feel, or whatever." And you just have to, if you can't the best way to explain it is just recognize different things that are happening, or understand like, hey, wait, why did I just do that? I'll give you an example. We ran the marathon on Sunday, and before that I had this tight regimen of running and working out and, good dietary habits. And, I cut back on alcohol. Well, this week comes, bro. I haven't worked out once. I've ate crappy food. And I've treated myself to 2 bottles of whiskey that I was like, oh, this is a beautiful bottle of whiskey. I'm going to buy this, right? So now all of a sudden it's like, well, normally, if you're not, constantly in tune with yourself, you might be like, oh, these are things you do when, to celebrate, and this you can do that. You can eat crappy, you can not work out, and then pretty soon, a couple weeks rolls around, and the guy's 10 pounds heavier and drinking every other night, and is trying to figure out how he's going to get off the couch when 2 weeks ago he just ran a marathon. You just have to constantly be aware. I think it's awkward for people to feel a certain way And then if they feel a certain way, like I'll tell you, again, running past those poster boards with those Marines and soldiers and sailors that uh, uh, during in the Silent Mile during the marathon, like I was emotional. I started to tear up, and it's kind of like, I think when men in particular feel an emotion, they try to suppress it.
Try to hide it, yeah.
Right? They try to suppress it, like push it down. But the honest answer is that anytime you feel a certain way, you should kind of ask yourself, like, wait, why am I feeling this way? Right? Why am I feeling this way?
I'm happy you say that, because again, I want to, like, people out there looking, like, sometimes, like, I mean, when they come to like tough people, you are one of the tough people. You are tough as they come, right? But at the same time, like, you're a gentle soul, and I want people to know, like, there's nothing wrong with being, like, for men to say, like, I'm emotional. You can show like your emotions. There's just nothing wrong about it, and seeking the help when it's needed. And because you bottle things up, and then just explode again. Thanks for saying that, because again, I know with guys in the service, I know even with myself being a firefighter now for like 16 years, I'm beginning to think about how I'm going to unwind. I'm already thinking about life past this, right? So I think sometimes people don't have like that exit ramp, and then when either you're a career guy and they tell you like it's your time to retire, most guys they join when they're like in their 20s. By the time they're like 50, they say, okay, you've reached your max, it's time for you to retire. 50 is like, look, imagine if somebody told you how to retire now. Some people don't really have that off ramp. And then, like you said, they get into drinking, they get heavier, and things kind of like get a little bit screwed up. But anyway, thanks again. Mountain by Mountain, we care about not just like the physical training, just the overall well-being, mental wellness. Now on the more lighthearted stuff, like I said, you have like 10 different careers. Now, so tell me, this Roy rejuvenated, what is going on, man? I wake up and I'm looking at social media, boom, there goes Roy. I'm like, what, Roy? What is going on? So tell me, what's going on with Roy rejuvenated?
Roy reinvented. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and then also Facebook. It started just, right on my 50th birthday, right leading up to it. I was talking with my family, and they're like, hey, you should do a day in the life. Like show us what life is like at the station. That would be fun. So I really was just making those videos for my family, because my daughter was like, someday I'm going to have kids and your grandkids can watch this. And I was like, oh, that's a cool way to be, historically archive, a portion of your life. And then I started, having some fun with it. And then I started doing the marathon training, and there'd be days where I was like, oh, I don't want to run. I'm like, oh, but I got to video log it, because it's one of those things that help keep me accountable. Like, I'm going to have to go tell 4,000, 8,000 followers, whatever, how that I was still training for this marathon, and I got my runs in this week, so add a little bit of built-in accountability. But no, it's been fun. The other thing Melena always says is just like, Dad, when you tell a story, like, there's so many stories you tell. I've never heard them before. Whether it's about life in Cameroon, a deployment to Iraq, or a call I went on, 15 years ago that I came home and probably never said anything about. But then we drove past that address or something like that, and I'm like, hey, there was a situation, and they're like, so
I mean, me just watching is fascinating. Like, your storytelling, I mean, like, dude, you have like all these different facets to you, like your storytelling, how even like the editing. I mean, that's like myself doing what I'm doing right now. Sometimes you say like you can see things from a distance, you think it's easy, but doing stuff, sitting down, doing the editing and all this stuff. But I mean, you can present like a week of activity. Somebody sitting even in Asia can look at that and be like, oh yes, I can see what they can think about you in Minnesota. They think like they know you, they've seen what you've done for like the whole week. So that is another facet of your life that I kind of find really interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, and there's that piece too. I mean, so in regards to the editing, the way I see that is that, like, people are like, oh, you're on social media. I'm not on social media. I don't do any social media. And it's like, okay, sounds good. And I said this to my daughter, is that when I first got on TikTok and I was creating videos, like the editing process is challenging. And I'm better at it now, but I'm not an expert. But still, when I'm doing the editing, it's kind of like you're doing a jigsaw puzzle, or you're doing some sort of fine craft work. There's a skill set to it where you're manipulating things, and you're adjusting audio, and you're doing all these different things. So it's being creative. And so I got on her because I was like, you've been on TikTok for like 4 years.
Right.
You have 3 posts.
Right.
I've been on TikTok for 1 month and I've made,
yeah,
20.
right.
Like, engage your creativeness.
And you think because the younger crowd, they will know better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're good at it, but they don't take that next step where they
creativity,
just put their stuff out there. That I think they have smaller groups or they screen record it and share it with their friends and keep it low key, which is fine. But I'll tell you that the creativeness of it is just like, I would say, equal to the editing piece is equal to trying to do a crossword puzzle or trying to do a puzzle or something like that, because you're engaging your.
No, I love it. I'm like, dude, this guy, you are everywhere. You, but then again, like, so I mean, the base of everything, like I say, is like you have like your routine where, like I said, even prior to like you running with us doing the marathon last week, is like you have your workout routine, right? So no matter snow, rain, or whatever, you have that routine. So you have that base. So I'm pretty sure everything kind of like springs up out of that. Because see, like with me, I never even thought I was going to be doing like sit downs like this, right? But out of just like the necessity to like explain to my clients like my workout routine, sit down with people who can work out and tell them like their routines. And out of that, I'm now saying I'm doing like a pod, doing editing. So I'm saying you're finding the same thing. You're finding this other leash to like your creativity. But again, but it all comes down to like you being physically active. I know, I mean, in like your runs, like your workout time, you're thinking about like how to be creative and all that stuff. So can you just speak a little bit to like people out there who are watching? They're like, well, I'm trying to get started, but I'm not sure how to get started. But how do they get into that mindset where once you get started, you start small and then,
I mean, with anything, you just have to do something, whether it's go for a walk or post a 12-second clip, like whatever it is, just put it out there, put yourself out there. If you want to be a creator on a social media platform, like you can't do it by saying you're going to do it. You just have to do something and put it out there. You might fail. It might be horrible, but you'll learn from it. And then, you'll do something better the next time around.
True.
And then the same thing goes for being physically active. You just got to do something. And I think you just push yourself because your body is very resilient. I mean, you saw the people running this marathon.
I saw that lady must have been like 65 years old.
70-year-olds. People.
Did you see the guy running with like probably barely no shoes?
Yeah,
like
he had like flip-flops. Yep.
That is insane.
I have a video with him. I stopped and thought he was wearing like a Navy shirt.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, and he just talked about it. I go, well, does it hurt your feet? He's like, no, I guess like I just got tired of spending, $150 for shoes. And so now he buys these $20 things. And I go, well, he goes, yeah, no blisters, no nothing. I go, what about like between your big toe and your other toe? And he just looked at me and goes, yeah, at first, but then you get calluses.
And there I was with my Brooks thinking like, but Steven with the Brooks, after the race, we were like both walking gingerly, but that just is like different level of pain. So I mean, my advice to out there is like, just get started. Once you get started, do something. And again, it could be, like you said, maybe run a 5K. 5K, that 5K becomes 10K, 15K.
It might be walking a mile. It might be, using weights and trying to do strength training. It might be anything. I mean, typically it's not one thing. It's a combination of things. All of a sudden, I'm training and now I'm remembering to take my multivitamins and fish oil, and I'm taking creatine for a little muscle recovery. Like all these things, one thing isn't going to do everything, but if everything you try to do improves your physical or mental ability or anything like that by 3%, right? Now all of a sudden you're compounding 3% because of this, 3% because of this, 6% because of this, 9, 12, then you quickly grow. And then next thing you know, you're at like, you're at 27%. Your sleep is better, right? All of a sudden there are all these things that compound. And then, your sleep is better. you're eating healthier, you're thinking clearer.
Right.
You have less behavioral health issues because you're relieving your stress by working out, by whatever it is that you choose to do, by walking, by golfing, by all those things. It just has a compounding effect on the rest of your life.
Nice.
Boy, I mean, you lose some weight, you whatever it ends up being, you start feeling more confident about yourself. You seek out a relationship when you didn't think that you wanted or needed one, right? So there's a lot of things that happen.
Benefits
there's
that come out of
one thing. But the one thing I will say is that, again, going back to that, I mean, I saw very large people 300 plus pounds, both men or women, running and finishing that marathon race. I was just like,
impressive.
Wow. And then I saw people that were amputees running, and I tell this to Isaiah when we go to the gym, but there's a guy at the gym, and he's blind, right? And he gets led around by an aide, and he gets given weights, and then I just look and I just say, man,
no excuse.
Nobody has an excuse.
Yeah, no excuse.
And I thought that during the race too. It's just like, man, am I really? No offense, but I'm gonna get beat by this stay-at-home mom.
That was I was going, and I saw, I think, the 65-year-old lady. No offense, I was like, this lady cannot beat me.
Yeah,
so that was like but then again, just people out there, like, do not look at your circumstance and be like, it's all I cannot. No, you there's a lot in you. You just have to push yourself, and you can achieve. But Chief Roy, it's really been an awesome sit down. I appreciate you giving me your time.
No worries.
So, to round up, what can we expect from Roy Invented?
Great question.
2026.
Great question. I will tell you that, post race, actually the week leading up to the race, I was like, what's going to happen after this race? What am I going to do? Oh man, I started to kind of take this negative mindset, and then I just said, well, hey, recognize that this is happening. So figure out what it is that you're going to do. And so I know I told people that I was going to do the firefighter calendar when I was 50. And so, you'll have to look for me on the calendar next year. So in the meantime, I'm going to have to get in some tip-top physical shape. Got to find some abs back.
Are we running marathons?
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Okay. I would love the idea of running 2 marathons next year. I really would love to do, one of the world majors. Or if I couldn't get into one of those, I would love to do one at least outside of the country, just to say that I did that.
Hey, we can do the Zurich together.
Okay, and then the Marine Corps Marathon.
Okay.
I'll be signing up for that.
Yeah, that sounds good. Chief, thanks for just sitting down with Mountain by Mountain. It's been a pleasure. Talk to you again.
Yeah, sounds good. Absolutely.
Appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Guys, stay active. Let's go.